Good evening. I'll call the Board of Aldermen to meeting to order. I'll get there. On Tuesday, April 24th at 7:30 p.m. in the Aldermanic Chamber. The prayer will be offered by City Clerk Patricia Pietsu, and Alderman Linda Harriet Gathright will lead us in the pledge to the flag.
Almighty God, we have the high honor and serious duty to manage the affairs of our beloved city. Fill us, O God, with the spirit of unity and understanding, which enables us to face our multiple problems with a serene mind, with justice and charity for all, so that any and all decisions made by us will always be for the betterment and greater happiness of all our fellow citizens. So help us God. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The clerk would please call the roll.
Alderman Wilshire.
Here.
Alderman Gidge.
Here.
Alderman Harriet Gathright.
Present.
Alderman Dowd.
Present.
Alderman Clee.
Here.
Alderman Laws.
Here.
Alderman Lopez.
Here.
Alderman Karen.
Here.
Alderwoman Kelly. Alderman Jettie.
Here.
Alderwoman Leezy-Gola. Alderman Tenza. Alderman Schmidt.
Here.
Alderman O'Brien.
Present.
Alderman McCarthy. We have 12 members present.
Thank you. Also in attendance this evening is His Honor James Donchis, Mayor, and Corporation Counsel Stephen A. Bolton. Does the Mayor wish to address the board?
Yes, Madam President. First, I wanted to point out a few things that are on the agenda. One is under the communications is the contract for paving, $6.7 million to Newport Contracting. This is part of our annual paving contract, our paving program. We've put out a list of streets that will be covered. This is only part of the work. There will be another $4 million, so-called repurposed funds, that will pay for the paving of some of the major streets. But this will get a good start on what we know are the conditions of our streets, which certainly need work. Secondly, under old business, we have a resolution that will transfer funds to the Safe Stations program, to the Partnership for Successful Living, for the purpose of providing help to the costs of transportation when any person reports to a fire station. Harbor Homes picks them up within an average of 11 minutes, which frees up our fire companies for any of their other work and really makes the Safe Stations program functional. And this got a favorable recommendation out of the Budget Committee, and I just pointed out and asked for your concurrence with the Budget Committee. Third, under new business, there's an interesting resolution, which is the transfer of some of our conservation funds for the purposes of providing the last dollars necessary to obtain the agricultural easement over Sullivan Farms out in Ward 1 off Coburn Ave, which is the last remaining farm in Nashua. So we the city, and the owners have received a group of grants from federal and state authorities. The conservation funds would provide the final dollars to acquire the conservation easement so that the farm can remain in agricultural use in perpetuity. These conservation funds are in a reserve account and are funded through the payment of current use taxes when those taxes are paid. Current use taxes are paid when someone has property in current use and then wants to and therefore has reduced property taxes and then wants to develop the property. They make up the difference for the years which they didn't pay the real rate with current use taxes. And so this was a dedicated source of revenue which was established back in the 80s. And although not a lot of money is accumulating now, significant money did accumulate over the years, and that makes this purchase possible without really affecting the tax rate in any way. Finally, an event coming up, and there are many that are coming up this summer, but one that I wanted to certainly remind you of is the New Muse Music Festival, which will be coming on May 5th, starting at noon out right on Main Street, going till 10 o'clock. Great American Downtown has been doing a great job in programming this. There are still tickets available. It's actually a limited capacity event because the street will be closed on both ends. So if you don't have tickets, I would suggest you make sure you get them as soon as possible. And finally, Madam President, tomorrow night in Ward 2, we have the Ward 2 Town Hall meeting, and I know Alderman Dowd is going to be there. And we'll be at the Charlotte Avenue School at 7 o'clock. Everyone is welcome if you wish to attend. So that is all I have for tonight, Madam President. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Responses to the remarks of the mayor? Start over here. Seeing none. Recognition period.
There is none.
Reading minutes of previous meeting and public hearing. There being no objection, I declare the minutes of the Board of Aldermen meeting of April 10th, 2018, and the public hearing conducted by the Human Affairs Committee on April 9th, 2018, accepted, placed on file, and the reading suspended. Communications requiring only procedural actions and written reports from liaisons.
There are none.
Period for public comment relative to items expected to be acted upon this evening. No one has signed up. Communications requiring final approval.
Communications from Larry D. Goodhue, CEO, CFO from Pennachuck Corporation relative to the annual meeting of sole shareholder, May 5, 2018.
Alderman Dowd.
Make a motion to elect David P. Bernier, Stephen D. Janest, and Thomas J. Leonard to the Pennachuck Corporation Board of Directors for 3-year terms and until their successors are elected and qualified, and authorize the mayor to transmit by proxy card the vote of the sole shareholder to the Board of Directors of Pennachuck Corporation.
You've all heard the motion. Discussion on that motion. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries.
Communication from Mayor Jim Donchins relative to contract for auditing services requested by Financial Services Division.
Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. I would like to make a motion to accept and place on file and extend the contract with Melanson Health and Company in the amount of $120,000.
You've heard the motion. Is there discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries.
Communication from Mayor Jim Donchins relative to the 2018 paving program.
Alderman Karen.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to accept, place on file, and contingent upon Board of Public Works approval, award the contract to Newport Corporation in the amount of $6,727,834.
You've heard the motion. Oh, you've heard the motion. Is there discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries.
Communication from Mayor Jim Donchins relative to contract for aquatic invasive species control and management.
Alderman Laws.
I move to accept, place on file, and contingent upon Board of Public Works approval, award the contract to Solitude Lake Management in the amount of $92,694.
You've heard the motion. Is there discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Petitions.
There are none.
Nominations, appointments, and elections.
To the Honorable Board of Aldermen, I have this day appointed Michael Renicky of 35 Lock Street, Nashua, to the Office of the Conservation Commission for a term to expire December 31st, 2020. I have appointed Amanda Martinez, 45 Concord Street, Nashua, to the Cultural Connections Committee for a term to expire May 1, 2021. I have this day appointed Paul Janapa, 51 Osgood Street, Methuen, Mass., to the Cultural Connections Committee for a term to expire May 1, 2021. I have this day appointed Adam Varley of 3 Scotia Way, Nashua, to the Planning Board for a term to expire March 31, 2021. I have this day appointed Edward Weber, 4 Cabernet Court, Nashua, to the Planning Board for a term to expire March 31st, 2021. I have the state-appointed James P. Welch, 3 Greenwood Drive, Nashua, to the Zoning Board of Adjustment as an alternate for a term to expire September 11, 2020, and respectfully request that the appointments be confirmed.
There being no objection, I will accept the appointments by the mayor as read and refer them to the Personnel and Administrative Affairs Committee. Reports of committees. Budget review, there being no objection, I declare the report of the April 11, 2018 Budget Review Committee accepted and placed on file. There being no objection, I declare the report of the April 16, 2018 Budget Committee accepted and placed on file. There being no objection, I declare the report of the April 18, 2018 Finance Committee accepted and placed on file. There being no objection, I declare the report of the April 9th Human Affairs Committee accepted and placed on file. There being no objection, I declare the report of the April 18, 2018 Pennachuck Water Special Committee accepted and placed on file. And there being no objection, I declare the report of the April 17, 2018 Planning and Economic Development Committee accepted and placed on file. Confirmation of mayor's appointments.
There are none.
Unfinished business resolutions.
Second reading of Resolution 18-020, authorizing the mayor to apply for and expend the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, and Home Investment Partnership Program funds for the fiscal year 2019.
Alderman Karen.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to amend R-18-020 in its entirety by replacing it with the amended copy provided with the agenda.
Heard the motion. Discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Alderman Karen.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion for final passage of R-18-020 as amended.
Motion before us is to, for final passage of R-1820 as amended. Discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries.
Second reading of Resolution 18-021 relative to the transfer of $50,000 from Department 194 Contingency, account number 70100, General Contingency, to Department 109 Civic and Community Activities, account and classification 56, outside agencies for the purpose of providing funding to Harbor Homes for their role in the Safe Stations program.
Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. I would like to make a motion for final passage of R-18-021.
Motion is for final passage of Resolution 18-021. Discussion on that motion? Alderman Lopez.
I am not an employee of the Safe Station program, but I do work for the Partnership for Accessible Living, so I will be abstaining from the vote.
Duly noted. Any discussion on further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries.
Second reading of Resolution 18-025, authorizing Pennachuck Corporation and Pittsfield Aqueduct Company to refinance intercompany debt.
Alderman Karen.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion for final passage of R-18-025.
You've heard the motion for final passage. Discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
Second reading of Resolution 18-026, relative to the transfer of up to $100,000 from Department number 191, School Department, account number 81100, capital improvements into school grant activity, school infrastructure grant funds.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion for final passage of R-18-026.
Motion before us is for final passage. Discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Unfinished business ordinances.
There are none.
New business resolutions.
First reading of Resolution 18-027, authorizing the expenditure of up to $384,000 from the Nashua Conservation Fund to assist in the funding of a conservation easement at the Sullivan property.
Additional sponsors, Alderman Dowd, Alderwoman Harriet Gathright, Alderman Clee, Alderman Laws, Alderman Lopez, Alderman Karen, Alderman Schmidt, Alderman O'Brien, and myself. Resolution 18027 will be assigned to the Planning and Economic Development Committee.
First reading, Resolution 18-028, relative to the acceptance and appropriation of up to $213,000 from the New Hampshire Land and Community Heritage Investment Program, LCHIP, to assist in the funding of a conservation easement at the Sullivan Farm property.
Additional sponsors, Alderwoman Harriet Gathright, Alderman Dowd, Alderman Clee, Alderman Laws, Alderman Lopez, Alderman Karen, Alderman Schmidt, Alderman O'Brien, and myself. Given its first reading, that will be assigned to the Human Affairs Committee.
First reading of Resolution 18-029, authorizing city to accept an executory interest in a conservation easement at the Sullivan Farm property.
Additional sponsors,
It's going to be the same one.
Alderwoman Gathright, Alderman Dowd, Alderman Clee, Alderman Laws, Alderman Lopez, Alderman Karen, Alderman Schmidt, Alderman O'Brien, and myself. Given its first reading, R 18029 will be referred to the Planning and Economic Development Committee and the Nashua City Planning Board.
First reading of Resolution 18-030, authorizing the conveyance of a discontinued portion of Amherst Street.
Additional sponsors, Alderman Gidge, Alderwoman Harriet Gathright, Alderman Dowd, Alderman Clee, Alderman Laws. Given its first reading, that resolution will be referred to the Committee on Infrastructure. New business ordinances.
First reading of Ordinance 18-012, amending the fee schedule of the city building regulations.
Additional sponsors? Seeing none, that legislation will be referred to the Personnel and Administrative Affairs Committee.
First reading of Ordinance 18-013, amending the accessory dwelling ordinance.
Additional sponsors? Alderman Lopez, Alderman Schmidt, Alderman Clee. Given its first reading. Oh, I'm sorry, Alderman Jettie, you have a motion?
I move to accept the first reading of O-18-013, assign it to the Planning and Economic Development Committee and the Nashua City Planning Board, and that a public hearing be scheduled for Tuesday, May 15th, 2018, at 7 p.m. in the Aldermanic Chamber.
You've heard the motion. Discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay? That motion carries.
First reading of Ordinance 18-014, setting parks and recreation fees.
Additional sponsors? Seeing none, given its first reading, Ordinance 18014 will be assigned to the Personnel and Administrative Affairs Committee and the Board of Public Works. Period for public comment. No one has signed up. Remarks by members of the board. I'll start over here. Remarks by Alderman? All set? Anyone? Alderman Lopez.
So I just want to thank all the people who came out to do the service projects on Saturday. There's still some garbage bags that are along the rail trail and by City Hall even, which I'm sure are going to be picked up. But a lot of volunteers came out. It looked like a couple hundred actually, working through Mine Falls, working on the Heritage Trail, Court Street Theater, particularly sounded like it was a lot of work. And a lot of people just gave their Saturday morning to make Nashua look a little better. So I'm just very appreciative of that, since I'm the alderman for where all that took place. And I also wanted to second what the mayor was saying earlier about New Muse looking like it's going to be a great event. I encourage everybody to turn out. It's going to be a great opportunity just to see downtown light up, have a lot of activity right on Main Street, so I'm looking forward to it.
Anyone else remarks? I just have one remark. I attended the Nashua Housing Authority Board of Commissioners meeting last week and just wanted to announce that they have changed their name. They are now going to be known as the Nashua Housing and Redevelopment Authority. which I think is timely. I think they're going to start to really look at doing some redevelopment and started a 501c3 to do more affordable housing in the city. So I think we're going to see some pretty exciting things coming from the Nashville Housing and Redevelopment Authority. Committee announcements. Alderman Dowd.
Yes, budget tomorrow evening in the chamber at 7 o'clock. I will be at the Ward 2 meeting, and it'll be admirably chaired by Alderman Wilshire.
Thank you so much. Alderman Lopez, do you have your hand up?
I was just going to make an observation. Instead of Nashville Housing and Redevelopment Authority, we could just call them NHRA.
I'll pass that along. Alderman Karen.
Yes, thank you. Personnel will be meeting on Monday, May 7th at 7 o'clock.
Any other committee announcements? Do I have a motion? Alderman Dowd.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion is to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we are adjourned at 7:51 p.m. Thank you.
It's either NHRA.
Mr. Presley, I understand what you're saying. I agree with you. I think we are here to give those people opportunity. If, again, let me just state,